What happens when your Laravel application is running on multiple instances and you need to update the code across all of them? Manually running a git pull on every server? That might work if you have just a couple of servers. But what if you have 10, 20 or even more? Now it's slow, messy and prone to mistakes. And what if you don't even know the exact number of servers, just a range, maybe 2, maybe 20? So how do you deploy your code efficiently in this scenario? The answer, AWS CodeDeploy. And in this video, I will show you exactly how to set it up step by step. Hey, my name is Parok and welcome back to my channel. So without further ado, let's dive in. So here we have all the prerequisites that we have to follow for this video. And we have been using the same Laravel application that I have configured or I have used earlier as well in my video. So here is the simple Laravel application for a quick introduction. So I can add any title into it. I can add any post and it is adding at the bottom. So that is fine. And my application is running on this EC2 instance. So that is fine. If I look into the prerequisites, it is saying auto-scaling group with EC2 instances already set up. So auto-scaling group, I will be configuring here again. Laravel application configured on those instances. So Laravel application is running on this instance. And then what I need to do here, I just need to install here a CodeDeploy agent on EC2. So here I have this. So let's install CodeDeploy agent. So here we are. We just need to update it first. We will be following this same script and you can download this script in the description of this video. So I have login here. Now I need to update. Then after that, I need to install this Ruby. And then we need to download code deployed agent from here. So this has been downloaded. And then we need to set the permission for this script that we have just downloaded. And then we need to start the code deploy agent. So that's it. We have installed the code deploy agent. But the question is why we are installing these things directly on my system. That in this video, we should install code deployer. So for this, let me explain to you. So here we have single system, which has our Laravel application and a database, which is already been working and connected with it. So here in the logical diagram, here is my single EC2 instance, which has the Laravel application, which is my blog app, and it is been connected to Amazon RDS, and users are accessing it via the internet over the public IP. So whatever our site is, users are accessing it on a single server using an IP address. So here in this example, if you are enjoying this content and find it useful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It's a small click for you, but makes a big difference for me. Thank you. I have been using it over the IP address. So why we have installed it? Since we need to use the code deploy, and for the code deploy in a prerequisites, we need an auto scaling group. So auto scaling should have EC2 instances, and those EC2 instances should have code deploy agent installed. So code deploy agent I have installed. So next thing what I need to do, I just need to take an image of my existing Laravel application. So let's create that image. So it might take some time. So this image I have just created and it is in a pending state. And the above image I have created earlier, but that is not has any code deploy agent installed. Code deploy I have installed just now and make another image. So that image, once it will be done, we will be start configuring auto scaling group. But before that, how over the auto scaling it will be working. So here within auto scaling that I will be configuring first. So instead of accessing over directly IP address, I will place load balancer, and load balancer will give its own DNS, and user will be using over the DNS using the auto scaling group, and we will have all the systems in place. Since it has configured to access the RDS database in the ENV, so for whatever the system auto scaling will be creating new, all will have the same accessibility to database. So let's get back. It might take some time. I will be get back once this has been done. So now it is available. Let me create auto scaling group. For auto scaling, we need to create launch template. I will be using this since I have installed code deploy agent, and then take the image. So before doing that, I just need to create the IAM role, because the IAM role I need to add here. So since I don't have any IAM role created, so that is why I need to create the IAM role specifically for this EC2 instance. Just go to roles and create role. Let's follow our sheet. We need to create for AWS EC2, use cases EC2, and then for permission policy, it is saying just put the role name, role for ASG, or the any name you would like to have. That is fine. Create role for ASG that I have just created, and I need this role to be attached here in IAM profile. So why I am attaching this ASG role? So in this role, what I have defined, so this role will provide AWS CodeDeploy full access. Why I need to put it here in IAM profile? Since my auto scaling group will be auto scaling, since my auto scaling group here will be auto scaling my EC2 instances, either it should be 1, 2, 3, or whatever the number it would be. So all those newly created instances should have code deploy agent running. Also, we need to provide code deploy service will be running. So it should be accessible to all the instance, whatever will be running. So that is why I need to create a role, and that role has to be attached on each EC2 instances that auto scaling is going to create. So that is why I have created this role. That is fine. View launch template. I have created a launch template here. And now after that, we have to create auto scaling group. And we need to choose a launch template that we have created. This version is fine. So move next. So we would like to attach a new load balancer, and it will be application load balancer. Load balancer name, that is fine. Just put ALB at the end, and it will be internet facing. This is fine. We need to create target group. Turn on elastic load balancer set for EC2. So for now, I will put desired capacity 1, minimum desired capacity 1. So majorly, I would like to put only a single instance as of now, and we will see in auto scaling that how it has been deploying through the code deploy. So it should create an instance in EC2. Let's check. Now this is in initializing phase. Here it is, and above is the one that was already created. So that was created directly, and we have used it to install code deploy agent on it and image it again. So now the job of this instance, physical instance, has been over. Now we will be using auto scaling group to put new instances in. So we can remove it. So let's terminate this instance. Okay, let's check that our application is still working. Yeah, it is working fine here. So auto scaling is able to put a system over there. So let's try to log into the system as well. So here we are going to verify that our code deploy agent is working or not. It is active and running. And let's verify that do we have IAM role has been attached. So IAM role that we have attached is also present here. So let's get back to our sheet. We have working environmental here. Now it is saying create another IAM role for AWS code deploy. Earlier we have created IAM role for EC2. Now we have to create for AWS code deploy. So let's get back to the role and create a role. Earlier I have selected EC2. Now I have to select code deploy. We need to provide AWS code deploy role. It has AWS code deploy role. That is fine. AWS code deploy role. Attach this role with the setting up code deploy. Okay, that we will be using it once we will be creating our code deploy. So this role will be needed over there. Laravel code deploy and role for ASG, that the two roles we have created. Now we have to create code deploy application. Create code deploy application name, and here we need to select the compute platform. Since AWS code deploy is available for EC2 and also for on-premises system that you have on-premise server as well, AWS Lambda and AWS ECS. But if you will be using AWS code deploy to deploy your application on your on-premises servers, then this service will going to cost you. Otherwise, if you are using it on EC2, deploy on EC2 or Lambda or ECS, there will be no extra cost for AWS code deploy. So here, just create the application. So application has been created. Now we have to create the deployment group, create deployment group, and then group name, any name you could give. Role, the same role that we have created, Laravel code deploy role that we have created in previous step. So here, instead of doing blue green, first we will be selecting in place. So in place, it is saying update the instance in the deployment group with the latest application revision during deployment. Each instance will be briefly taken offline for its update. So what does it mean? That if we have couple of systems that ASG has created, as of now it has created one. So if we do have multiple instances that will be running here, once code deploy will be deploying the latest code onto it. Briefly, it takes the application offline. So if you do have two system or four EC2 instances up and running, then what happen once code deploy will be deploying your code onto these servers or onto these EC2, one by one it will be taking those systems offline while other will be working fine. So your system one by one in place deployment, it will be deploy your code and back your system online. That is why it is here. But other one is blue green deployment, that we will also look into it. So first we will be creating in place deployment, and then here it is saying on premises, that if we do have in our data center Amazon EC2 instances, but I would like to deploy it through auto scaling group. So you can select up to 10 Amazon EC2 ASG. So I do have only one, so I can select one. Just leave as is. It is saying all at once. That is fine. Enable load balancer. That is fine. And then load balancer is application and network load balancer. And we need to choose the target group, the target group that I have created earlier while configuring ASG. So that is fine. And then no need for that. So this has been done. Now, before moving to next part, let's verify our application. Here, our application is working, that I have tested through the IP address. Let's verify that is it available through the load balancer as well. I do have this load balancer, and here is the DNS name that I have shown you that people will be using. As of now, we are here on this stage. We have just created the code deploy, and then code deploy will be in action shortly. But before that, let's verify our application is accessible from here as well. Yeah, it is available. So let's add any record. Yeah, that is fine. So here we have just configured our AWS code deploy, and load balancer is in place. Auto scaling group is also there, and we do have as of now only one system. So let's cut this off. So this is our actual diagram, and user is able to access it. But now developer is going to push the code through the GitHub repository, and code deploy will require something that need to be configured first, that how the application is going to deploy. So that application deployment is essential for creating AppSpec.yml, application specification.yml. What is it and why it is required? So for code deploy, if I come up here and let me open up AppSpec.yml, it is already means while I was working on it. So I have created this AppSpec.yml as well. So how and why it is important? It is actually instructing our code deploy agent, which is running on my system, that how it should deploy the code onto the destination server, onto the destination EC2 instances. So here what I did. So instead of onto the server, let me log into my PC or the local application where I have configured on my system. Or let's suppose I'm a developer and developing a code here. So here I am in my working directory where I've been using it to coding my application source code. So here I have added AppSpec.yml here. And then after it, I have pushed this file or my code to a repository, which is here. So if I come up here, what it is saying, let me quickly brief it. So let me log in first to the system. So here I am in this application, but if I come up here, it is saying deployers. So we have actually running our application. So we are here at deployer. So here is the application which is running via the deployer user. So if I come here, I have set those things in my appspec.yml file. It is saying destination, source is slash, destination is home deployer site. Let's verify that this destination is available onto my EC2 instance. So here it is. The same path is exists. Now it is saying what is source. Source basically source directory of AWS CodeDeploy. So where AWS CodeDeploy just downloads the code from your repository, means from this repository, which is Laravel blog app onto GitHub. So it's first download the source code here and then put it onto a destination. So destination is here, and since code deploy agent is running on this system, so it's first download the code there and then copy it to this destination, which is here. All the source code will be copied here. So that is fine. And then setting up the ownership, which is deployer, whatever the mode we have to provide, means for ch mode, and this is for the ch zone. And then here we have the hooks, which is before install, after install, and application is done. So for all of it, it is running as an administrator. These are just a script. So these scripts are just bash scripts. So it is inside scripts and before install. So let me show you here. So it is referring to source code directory where this is available. Let me show you where exactly it is. So if I do ll, then here we do have scripts that I have created and pushed to my repository. cd scripts, and it has 3 scripts: after install, before install, and restart service. So similarly, before install, after install, and restart service. So I have to use it in this sequence. So first I have created those scripts and put it in a scripts directory. So let's go to the scripts. Here are these scripts. So first thing first, before install, let me check before install script. So what before install script is saying, it is saying that go to home deployer site Laravel block, so which is here, onto a server, which is here. And what it just need to do, it is saying go to the site, which is here, and it is saying whatever inside, just delete it. So before deleting it, it is saying copy .env from home deployer site. It is going here and then sudo cp.env onto this location. So basically what I am doing, so first I'm going inside and then cp.env home deployer sites. If I come back here, it is saying that env is available. So it is here, but since it will be done by the appspec.yml, so I do not need to copy it manually. So let me remove this file as of now. So that is just for the explanation. env has been copied, and then after that, what I'm doing, that Laravel blog app, whatever is inside and whatever is inside with dot going to be deleted. Go inside and quickly what it will do. So whatever inside and this folder will be deleted, and it has dot env example dot get, and whatever inside will be deleted as well. So this script is saying this. And then after that, we have, this is before install. So before the code is been copied to Laravel blog app on this location from code deploy agent source folder to this destination folder, it is going to run this script. And this script is going to copy your env onto main sites folder and remove whatever is inside blog app, because a new code is there and new code has to be deployed. So that is one. And then it is saying after install. So after install means once the code is been deployed. So before install, run. So let's check what is there in after install. So in after install, it is saying cp home deployer site.env. That env we have copied in previous step directly on sites. It has to be copied inside Laravel blog app, because the whole source code been copied here on Laravel blog app. So, and then after that, we are changing the permission, sorry, the ownership, deployer, and then using a bash, we are just going inside the Laravel blog app and we'll do composer install, because if the code is new composer has to be installed, whatever inside in the Laravel. And then we have to give 755 to storage, bootstrap cache. So instead of doing it manually, this script will do it after the code has been installed. And then it is saying restart service after install, and then it is saying the restart service. So if I come up to the restart service, what it is saying, just reinstall the nginx, restart the php fpm. So it is running on that EC2 instance as well. And then after that, sudo -u deploy bash. So it is basically running a bash script using deployer user. So it is saying go inside and then do this cleanup operation. Maybe at this point, if you would like to run any kind of migration, any kind of seeder, you could put that code here and then put annotation config cache clear, route clear, view cache. So or whatever the command you are going to put it here, it will be running accordingly. So let's get back to here. So here you could also use my example application as well that I have put it here. So it is saying all those scripts that I have defined, and now deploy Laravel code with code deploy instead of manual deployment. We will be using code pipelines. I have configured application and then deployment group as well. Now it is saying what I can do. I can create deployment. So it is saying taking your code from Amazon S3 on a GitHub. So it's a kind of manual process, or you need to put the webhook. But why I'm not doing it? Because it's manual. So instead of it, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create code pipeline. So let me create it. So here currently no code pipeline. So let me create one. Build custom pipeline. Pipeline name could be any name. Just select this superseded. New service role, which is fine. This will be creating a new service role. In advanced setting, leave as is. Going to next. And then source provider. Source provider is my GitHub repository, which is here. So GitHub Laravel blog app is my repository. So I will be selecting it. But first, I need to provide means from where is my source code. So it is on GitHub app. So it is saying connect to GitHub. So since I have connected earlier, so this application is available in here. Let's do it. Since I have used earlier as well, so it didn't ask me to log in. Otherwise, it will ask you to log in here. So once you have logged in, you can easily connect. And then it will fetch all the repositories you have. Laravel blog app, since I do have only one branch, which is main. So if I have only one branch, which is main. So main branch I have configured here. Code pipeline default, that is fine. Store your pipeline on push and pull request, that is fine. No need to change anything here. Next, it is saying build, but in our case, whatever we are doing, as soon as the code has been pushed. So in our example, as soon as the code has been pushed to GitHub repository, it will be going to pipeline, and pipeline will directly initiate the deployment process. So in our pipeline, there is no building phase, since we are going to deploy it on EC2 instances via the autoscaling group. So here we are not going to do anything in this stage. So we are selecting skip build stage, and then test stage. We are not going to do any kind of testing in our example as of now. So we are going to skip this test as well. And then we do have deploy. Now this is the stage we require. So here what we are going to do, it is saying deployment provider AWS CodeDeploy. So the region is same. I have all my setup in a North Virginia. So input artifact. So as soon as my pipeline is going to download all the source code from this repository directly onto source artifact, because by default it is creating an S3 bucket where it downloads all the code, and then whatever the stages after that will be sourcing it. So code pipeline has copied the code source artifact into an S3. So my code deploy will be taking it from there. And then application name is the name that I have created for in code deploy. So it's come up here. And then deployment group that I have created, deployment group. Yeah, it is inside Cation. So here the deployment group I have selected. Now it is saying next. It is summarizing that source artifact. Source is GitHub. From the GitHub, it is copying it in a zip format. Detect changes. Yes, that is fine. Source, repository, everything it is copied. Now create pipeline. Now first time it will run and deploy the code. This phase has been done. Now it is going to deployment phase. Now verify in a code deploy. It is saying installing application on your instances. That is fine, but we are more interested here. What exactly it is doing? View events. So as per the AppSpec.yml, it is doing these steps. Before block traffic, that has been done. Now it is doing block traffic. And then after block traffic, application stop, download bundle, I mean, all the steps that we have defined in our AppSpec.yml, it is following that. So as we have seen that once we are deploying it through using it, it takes our application offline. So this application will be goes offline. Yes, it is saying 503 service temporary unavailable. That means down by administrator. So since this application is in a deploying phase, it is taking this application offline and do whatever the deployment phases are. So let's wait to complete it. So here, as we can see that the deployment has been failed, download bundle at this stage, and then it is saying unknown error. Let's verify what's inside. So it is saying user this assumed role is not authorized to perform S3 get object on resource because as I have told you, it is creating in a code pipeline in S3 bucket. And my role for ASD is not authorized to download anything, or actually is doing S3 get object from this. So let's fix this issue. Let's go to IAM, go to role for ASG. So it is saying specifically the S3 directory, but I'm being lazy. I'm just putting S3 instead of home. There is S3 read-only access, and I hope it should have that cover get object S3 get whatever is there is been copied, and since we have the get object, so it should resolve error and permission. That is fine. So from the pipeline, we need to deploy it again. Let's go to the pipeline. Here we do have retrial stage. Let's verify here. So it might take some time. So it has passed this download bundle stage, and then it is back to allowing traffic, and then after allow traffic. So since we do have the load balancer, so it is taking time. So you can see that it is taking 5 minutes, 10 seconds to make this service offline. That's it. Yeah, that is fine. And the color has been changed to create new post, because when I was doing a testing, I have just changed the color, just trying to push the code, and whatever the code that has been pushed, we are just trying to see it is impacting either my code is pushing or not. So let's see, let it be completed, and we'll do the same, trying to push the code, and then we'll verify that application is going to be installed automatically or not. So let's do that. It might take again some time for allow traffic. Blocking traffic and allowing traffic will take time, since we are using load balancer. So while it is been doing, what we can do once we are going to change anything in our, let's say in our code, either this code has been pushed automatically or not. So let's verify that, and for that we are just going to change the color to verify that our deployment is going fine. So we are going to change the color of this button. So currently it is red. We are going to change it, and here I have mentioned. So let's go inside this, and I'm doing it on my systems. Currently I am on my system. Let me clear the screen, and all is running where? Root. So let me switch to root. And then I have to open this file. Let me copy it again. I'm just changing a code to change the color. So here, what my documentation says, let's search it. Yeah, it is here. And now the color, which is button danger, it is red. So let's do something. Let's put this button success, and just save the code. Now we need to push to. Let's make a commit. It is saying this file has been modified. Okay, fine. And now I will not pushing the code as of now. I will wait to complete that pipeline. So I've been verifying that why it has been stuck in here. It has been quite a lot of time since it has been started it at this time, and now the time is almost 17-18 minutes past, but it is still at in progress state. While I have further investigated and found that EC2 checks are there. So I do have target group, and target group it is showing unhealthy. Why? Because once I am accessing my application here, if I'm putting like this and just open it, let's see what is happened. It is saying pending, and then it goes to 302. But once my target group comes up over here and for the healthy check, it is considering success code only 200. So I have to provide here 302 as well. So instead of 200, 302 as well. So hopefully shortly it will be registered as a healthy. And then after that, this will also be fixed. So let's wait some time. Now it is healthy. So hopefully this will also pass the result. Now this has been also done. See, it took 21 minutes 41 seconds because I forget to do something. So here it is deployed. Here is my post. So let's try to post anything, and then whatever the code I have changed, put it over there. Now this has been added as well. So here my code is. Now what I need to do, I just need to git push. So this has been done. Now it should start my pipeline, which is here. It is my pipeline. So it is saying in progress. It's already been triggered. So it's in a deployment phase. And I just want to see the deployment in a code deploy. Here we goes to view events. So we already know that it might take 5 minutes, up to 5 minutes here. And by the time this is taken offline, so now the success, this has been successful, this has been successful, download has been done. So this should be, now the button color has been changed. So I didn't do it full, all has been done through the code deploy. But the issue is that 503 error. So it is taking long time. So that is not good. So before doing that, what I can do, let it be complete, allow traffic, and then we should be doing blue-green deployment. So this has been done. Now let's do the code deploy. Instead of doing in place, let's try, application. We need to go to code deploy and then application and then code deploy. We have this code deploy application. We can perhaps create a new one as well, but let me modify it. So instead of in place, I'm choosing blue-green deployment. So blue-green deployment has been done. Automatically copy Amazon EC2 Autoscaling group. That is fine. That is fine. That is fine. Save changes. But before that, I just need to verify and change. Go to IAM console because now my code deploy is going to handle auto scaling as well because it will be adding more and more instances into the auto scaling group. But what it was doing, code deploys is going here, and whatever the instance auto scaling group has created, just deploy the code over there. And while it was deploying, it is saying 503. I'm taking this down, application down. And then once the deployment is up, it is back online. So now, once I'm saying blue-green deployment, what it is going to deploy, it is going to auto-scaling group. And instead of deploying it here, it is going to create a new instance here and deploy the code onto it. And once the deployment has been successful, it is going to attach this system with the load balancer and take off this system. So in this scenario, in this way, we will have zero downtime. But our code deploy should have accessibility on auto scaling group to do all the necessary changes. For that, we need to modify the role. So code deploy role, whatever the role I do have, I need to create inline policy, and in that inline policy, I need to add this. Since it is been handled by code deploy, so the role we have assigned to code deploy role, we are going to add create inline policy, go to JSON, and then put this here. And the policy name is anything. I'm just putting ASC access. Okay, that is fine. So this application, let's check. Let's add it. Now it is blue-green deployment and everything is in place. I'm not going to change anything here because I did save it earlier. Now it is blue-green, and try to change the code as well. Again, let's just come put some other color. Let's put button danger. Okay. So this has been saved. So before pushing it, let's verify we have this color in green, and after the deployment, it should become red. So, but before that, let me open the pipeline here, code pipeline. Here we do have this pipeline. It is here. Now let me push the code. It just passed the source phase and now it is on a deployment. So it comes to the blue-green deployment. So this is the original. This one is a replacement. So they are showing a good depiction over here. First step uh, has been done. It is saying provisioning replacement instances. So let's verify. Does it created any replacement instance? So one instance, it was already there. A new instance, it's gonna be a replacement instance. It's going to be powering up here. So let's go back here. Initializing application on replacement instance. Let's check either application has been initialized or not. This IP, let's try to browse our site web IP address. Now this is fine. So powering up the instance has been done. Now it is rerouting traffic to replacement instance. Yeah, this has been changed to red that we have done. Now the both one are there. Okay, that is amazing. Because since I do have now these two replacement instance as well. Let me yeah, a replacement instance as well, and this one as well. So existing one has the older code. The button color is green. Let me put GR, and the new one is in red. So the red and green color, it is kind of between flip flopping it, and as soon as all the checks has been done, what it's going to do is just going to uh, remove this instance and place this red instance over there. So in this way, there is zero downtime. So it might take some time. Let's verify where we are here. The replacement one is doing the allow traffic. It might take some time here. And then what it will do, it will go to the original instance as well. So here, if I come, it is in a blue color because it's just powering up once new instance is then powering up by the ASG. It is using the image that I have created initially. It is using whenever the ASG is powering up any system, it is using an image that I have created earlier. Let me go to AMI. It is using this Laravel image, and in that it has this blue color. So that is here. Let's verify. Now this has been successful. The replacement instance, all is doing smooth, all is fine. So here is the replacement instance. Now the new code is been deployed to the replacement instance. Now it should also deploy the code. Yes. And let's verify if it's successful or not. So it is doing all those steps, block traffic and after block traffic, before block traffic. So it might take again some time, but here we can see our application has been deployed, and very soon, as soon as it will be here, it is going to delete the instance. Now currently we have two instances since we have enabled the blue green. So one instance will be killed. So this all been done. Now original 0, replacement 1, and we can also verify. Let's refresh. It might take some time to remove in this instance. So now the older instance is just kicked in the shutdown phase because this has been terminated. So this is how we are using AWS CodeDeploy to deploy our application. That's about it. Thank you for watching. I hope this tutorial helped you on your DevOps journey. If you have any questions or suggestions, drop them in the comments below. And remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.